Hello everyone. Today's tutorial is all about Windows 10. We want to look at some really basic functions to help you get started and navigate. So as you can see, I'm on my desktop, my main window here. Across the bottom you see a bar, and there's some different features I want to talk about in that bar below. The first thing is the Start menu. If I click on this, you'll see Start menu's got a little bit of a different look. Up top, we have the most used applications. I have some pinned apps over here. And so for you, this may look different. Oftentimes it comes with some suggested pinned apps. And then down below, you have the File Explorer. So if you're looking for a specific file, you can click this and it'll give you the frequently used folders that you've been using. And there's more. You can go deeper into this, but that's the File Explorer. Also, you have here settings, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. This is how you would turn on and off the machine. And then this is how you get to the different applications that are installed on your desktop. The next thing over from the Start menu is this search bar, pretty handy. Sometimes it's called the Cortana bar. Some of you may have this, the artificial intelligence feature turned on where you can speak to it like you would to an iPhone with Siri, but I have that feature off. Sliding across here, I have some pinned applications and then tasks that I'm actually doing right now. So you can see some of the different Windows things that I'm working on. And then over here you have the status bar. I want to take a moment to show you how to pin some frequently used apps to the Start menu and then the taskbar. So you're going to go to the Start menu, and again, just to orient yourself, these are the most used apps that I've been working in lately. But if I wanted some of my other applications, I would slide down to the very bottom. When I click on this, it gives me an alphabetized list of every application on the machine. And so you can see it's grouped by letter of the alphabet. I want to put Excel on here. Say I'm an avid user of Excel. I could scroll down to E. The other thing about this is that you can click on a letter and then this lets you jump around to the different apps. So Excel is where I'm trying to get to. I'm going to click on E and it jumps me to that spot in the list. And that works for any other application you might be looking for. So I have Excel here. I want to pin it to the Start menu. So I right-clicked and I clicked Pin. Right now it says Unpin. That's how you would unpin it as well. But you can see I have Excel now for my pinned apps. So if I go back to the Start menu, it's always going to be there because I've pinned it to the Start menu. The other thing you can do is you can simply drag it down to the taskbar. See if that actually happens. There we go. There we go. And now you can see I have it also down here. If I don't want this on my taskbar anymore, I can right-click on it and say Unpin from taskbar. Same thing, if I don't want it on my Start menu, I can say Unpin from Start, and now it's gone. One question I often get is how do you add shortcuts to the desktop? And so I want to show you how to do that. I'm going to go to the Start menu. And then the application that I'm going to add to the desktop is Outlook. So I go down to All Apps. Remember, these are alphabetically organized. So I'm going to click on the letter C and then O for Outlook. I could scroll down either way. You see Outlook right here. When you find the application that you want to add or create a shortcut for, you're going to right-click on it and say More. You slide over and say Open File Location. And it has found its location for me. It's highlighted there. And so now I right-click on that and say Send to, slide over to Desktop, and in parentheses it says Create Shortcut. So when I click this, it should appear on my desktop. And there it is right there. You can click and drag all of these icons around, organize them in any way that you want. If you right-click on the desktop, it will do some sorting for you. So you can view the icons, you can change the size. If I go large, you can see it's much larger. There's kind of a medium. I have it on small. I can sort them by name, size, item type, or date modified. I'm going to do them by name and so you can see it organizes them for me. Again, right-clicking on the desktop, there's some other options here too. Sliding down, there's quite a few options under new. You can create new folders on your desktop. This is another way to create shortcuts. Display settings. So if I click on that, it takes me into the settings mode, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. And then also you can do some personalizing, also under the settings icon there. And so the desktop background picture, this is where you could change that. You have some colors, some different things. I'm going to change mine right now. So I just double clicked on that image, and you can see the background matches the Tech Teach Grow logo. Let's refocus our attention down to the search bar or Cortana bar if you have it turned on. The search bar was really handy for me when I first started using Windows 10 when I couldn't find anything. The search bar allows you to just type in what it is you're looking for on the machine. And so if I was looking for PowerPoint and I didn't know how to get there, I could just type it in and it brings it up for me. If I click here, it launches the program and I could go to work. There are filters, so anytime you search and you know what category, these are the different categories, if you know where it's at, then it would might help in the search results. I never really use the filters, but they can be handy. But the one thing about it is if you look down here in this search bar, it will go out to the web as well. It's not just the machine. So if I type in here NBA, you can see in that search bar down at the bottom, it took out using Edge, and you can see that my search has given me these results. So that search bar is much more full-featured than search bars in the past. Moving on, you can see this icon to the right of the search bar says Task View. So I'm going to click that. And all this shows is all the different applications, different things I have open right now. And I can jump to those from that view. It's kind of a nice way to see all of the many windows that you might have open. If I click that again, it goes back to my desktop. As I mentioned before, these are tasks that are opened, and that's another spot where they're located, and I can jump to those. If you click on them, you can get a preview as well in that way. Sliding over here, I usually stay out of this zone here. This does give me a notification that I have an email that is ready to be read, but I wanted to show you the notifications. So if you click on Notification Center, any notifications you may have will be listed up here. You have some options depending on what type of device you're on. You may have some different options here. This is where you would get into a quick and easy way to get into settings. So let's take a look at the settings right now. This is the new view for settings, and they're really trying to unify the look. So if you're on a Windows tablet or phone, it has that same look. So that's the movement to that. You can get to the old control panel that people are familiar with on your desktop machines as well. But just kind of giving you a quick preview, this is system. So if I click on that, I can get into more options and categories. This is where you maybe would work on the power and sleep mode. I often make adjustments to that area. Let's go back. This is where you would add a mouse or a printer. This hopefully is all configured for you, but if you're using your mobile device, you might need to connect to a network. You can do some personalization. We talked about this. You have different colors. You have, what comes up on the lock screen, themes, start, those sorts of things. Again, accounts, hopefully you won't have to do much work in there. You can change time and language. There are some accessibility tools here. This has to do with the privacy settings on your camera if you have one integrated into your machine. And then again, an area where I wouldn't think that you'd have to do much work in here. All right, I'm going to wrap this video up, but there is one thing I didn't talk about here on the bottom, this little shopping bag with a Windows symbol on it. If you click it, it takes you to the Windows store. And so you can add different applications, games, different things from here. So if you click on apps, you can add apps to your device from this area here. So if there's something that you're looking for, you can go up to the search and just type it in. And then say it's Netflix. You just click on this one's free. And so you can just click here and it'll talk you through the process. The very last thing I want to talk about, I had mentioned earlier that you could get to the old control panel. I found when I switched to Windows 10, I was kind of frustrated in how I would navigate because it did seem pretty different to me. But I found out that if you go down to this Windows symbol, the Start menu, and you right-click on it, you get this sort of the more familiar list form option. And so you have some of the things that maybe you're more used to if you're a Windows user in previous versions. And so the thing that I had mentioned was the control panel. And if you click on that, you get the more traditional view, something maybe that you're more familiar with versus the version that you can find under the Start menu, this setting, this version. So this is the new version. This is still available, the older version, but the same topics. Again, the way I got there is right-clicking on the Start menu, and again, the more traditional view, File Explorers here. You can search, and it just takes you to those different things. So hopefully this video helped you understand Windows 10 a little bit better, and there will be more videos to come. Thanks for watching.